Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take a stack of sources, articles, and cutting-edge research and truly extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to get you not just informed, but exceptionally well-informed fast. Today, we're plunging into a question that's becoming increasingly vital, almost universally, in our interconnected world. In a landscape now fundamentally shaped by artificial intelligence, from the nuanced recommendations on your streaming services all the way to the complex algorithms underpinning medical diagnoses in hospitals, there's a profound, often overlooked question. Who's watching the watchers? Who ensures this incredibly powerful technology is used for good, that it's fair in its outcomes, and, that it genuinely respects our privacy and our fundamental rights?
And that's exactly where AI governance platforms step onto the stage. They really are the critical, often overlooked architects of trust in this whole AI era. Think of them maybe as the essential digital guardrails for the AI highway. They guide precisely how AI is developed, how it's deployed, and how it's ultimately managed responsibly across an entire organization. Without these guardrails, we're basically asking organizations to navigate a high-speed technological highway with these vehicles that are immensely powerful, yet potentially lacking, steering wheel, clear lane markings, or even reliable brakes. It's kind of a recipe for unintended consequences, no matter how good the intentions might be.
That's a powerful analogy. It really is. It sets the stage perfectly. So our mission today is to unpack exactly what these platforms are, why they are not just a nice to have, but an absolute necessity in today's rapidly evolving tech landscape. And also, who are the key innovators actually building these crucial systems right now? This deep dive, it's your shortcut to being truly well-informed, equipped with insights on a topic that will undoubtedly define the future of AI for all of us. So let's get this conversation rolling. All right, let's pull back the curtain on this a bit. When we talk about an AI governance platform, what is it really at its most fundamental level? For those of us, who aren't steeped in the technical jargon every day, what are we actually talking about here?
Okay, yeah. In its simplest terms, it's a sophisticated software solution. But not just any software, it's purpose-built, specifically designed to empower organizations to manage the inherent, often complex, and sometimes surprising risks. Risks that come hand in hand with the development and the subsequent deployment of artificial intelligence. It moves AI beyond just being, a fascinating technological endeavor and transforms it into something that can be wielded safely, ethically, and importantly, predictably within a controlled environment.
So it's not just about creating the cool new AI, it's really about making sure it's used safely and ethically. But how does it actually function as that central hub you mentioned a minute ago? Could you maybe paint a picture of why an organization would absolutely need this kind of centralized control?
Absolutely. You can kind of envision it as a singular, indispensable control center. This hub provides crucial visibility and comprehensive control over all AI initiatives, everything currently running or being developed within an organization. So consider a sprawling, maybe global corporation. This entity might be leveraging AI for an incredibly diverse range of critical tasks, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps from sophisticated algorithms that detect subtle patterns of financial fraud in real time, all the way to powering highly interactive, responsive customer service chatbots, handling millions of inquiries daily. Now, without proper governance, without this central hub, these seemingly disparate AI systems could inadvertently lead to a cascade of unintended and potentially disastrous consequences.
Right, like dominoes falling.
Exactly. Imagine a scenario where a financial fraud detection AI, maybe without oversight, starts to disproportionately flag transactions from a specific demographic group. Not because of actual fraud necessarily, but due to some subtle bias baked into its historical training data. Or maybe a customer service chatbot designed to be helpful inadvertently shares sensitive private data because of a misconfiguration or, a flaw in its data access protocols.
Oh, wow, yeah.
These kinds of issues can escalate incredibly quickly. They can lead to significant errors with severe, far-reaching consequences. And we're not just talking about the business, fines and reputational damage, but crucially for its customers, its employees, and even broader society. So the platform acts as this indispensable centralized system. It's specifically designed to prevent these kinds of catastrophic issues before they even have a chance to manifest. It's really about building in foresight and prevention, not just reacting to problems after they've already exploded.
That's a very clear picture of the stakes involved. So it's not just a theoretical concept, it's a very practical, tangible tool that hopefully prevents chaos.
When we talk about its core functionalities, how does it actually do this governance? What are the practical how-to aspects of this digital guardian?
Okay, yeah. That's where the deeper functionalities come in. And they're quite comprehensive. They touch basically every stage of the AI lifecycle. The first crucial function, and arguably the most foundational one, is inventory and discovery. Now, this isn't just about running a quick scan. It involves automatically identifying and meticulously cataloging all AI models and systems that exist within an organization. It's about having a crystal clear, continuously updated understanding of what AI you possess, where it's deployed across your various departments and IT environments, and perhaps most importantly, who is ultimately accountable for its performance, its ethical behavior, and its compliance. What's truly intriguing here is how deceptively simple that sounds on the surface. Just know what AI you have. But I'm guessing for many large organizations, especially those that have grown rapidly or have, kind of federated IT structures, this is anything but simple, isn't it? It sounds like trying to find every single unlisted book in a absolutely colossal library.
You've really hit on a core challenge there.
Yeah.
This foundational step sounds straightforward, but honestly, many organizations are genuinely surprised, sometimes even shocked, by the sheer number of AI applications running quietly across various departments, often developed outside of central IT oversight. This is what we often refer to as the shadow AI problem.
Shadow AI, right?
Yeah, an individual team or maybe a department might implement an AI solution for a specific, seemingly isolated need. Perhaps a marketing team building a quick chatbot for lead qualification, or a finance team automating some reporting process. Now, these solutions might seem benign in isolation, but they often operate without central IT being fully aware, without proper security protocols, and without consistent governance. The deeper insight here isn't just knowing what AI you have, but recognizing the unknown dependencies that could emerge from this kind of sprawl. Ah, okay, so connection you didn't even realize existed.
Yeah.
Exactly. A marketing team's chatbot, seemingly innocuous, might inadvertently access sensitive customer data from some uncatalogued back-end system, creating a gaping security hole central IT isn't even aware of. The true insight AI governance brings is about mapping these invisible data flows and risk vectors. It brings all those disparate, often hidden AI initiatives into a single, visible, and manageable framework. Why this foundational step is paramount is pretty clear. You simply cannot govern what you don't know you have. It's like trying to manage that massive library without a comprehensive catalog. You wouldn't know what books are there, let alone if they're properly secured, up-to-date, or even appropriate for public consumption. This crucial first step provides that essential baseline, making it possible to then apply other layers of governance effectively. It prevents the kind of organizational sprawl that leads to dangerous blind spots and unmanaged risks.
Right? You can't fix what you don't know is broken or maybe even exists. So, okay, once you've cataloged everything, once you've mapped out that AI landscape, the next step naturally moves into managing the potential problems you've now unearthed. That brings us directly to risk assessment and mitigation. When we talk about risks, it can sound very abstract. Can you give us a really tangible, perhaps even slightly unsettling example of a specific risk an unmitigated AI system might pose that a governance platform would specifically target?
That's an excellent way to frame it because these risks are very, very real. Let's consider a common scenario. An AI system designed to review job applications. Without proper governance, a key risk here is bias within the training data. If this AI was trained on historical hiring data where, for example, male candidates were disproportionately hired for certain roles in the past, well, the AI might inadvertently learn to penalize applications from female candidates, or maybe candidates with non-traditional educational backgrounds, regardless of their actual qualifications. Now, this isn't the AI being discriminatory in some malicious sense. It's simply optimizing for patterns it observed in the past. It's effectively automating and amplifying existing human biases.
Wow, so it just learns our own bad habits.
Pretty much. And the result is discriminatory outcomes that can lead to lawsuits, serious reputational damage, and, more importantly, unfair exclusion for talented individuals. Another tangible risk is operational fragility and cascading failures. Imagine an AI powering a crucial part of your supply chain, maybe predicting demand and optimizing logistics. If this model drifts, meaning its performance degrades over time because the real-world data it's seeing starts to differ significantly from its training data, it could lead to massive stock shortages, shipping delays, and significant financial losses.
Okay, that's a huge operational risk.
Absolutely. Or consider a privacy violation risk. An AI system processing customer data for personalization might, through some unforeseen combination of data points, inadvertently expose sensitive personal information. That could lead to massive regulatory fines and a complete total erosion of customer trust. So once these myriad risks are identified through the assessment process, which involves quite sophisticated analysis of data, algorithms, potential impacts, the platform then moves into active problem solving. It provides specific, actionable tools and mechanisms designed to mitigate those identified risks. For instance, it might not just identify a bias in the job application AI, but then suggest or even automate adjustments to the algorithm to reduce that bias. Perhaps by reweighting certain features or applying fairness constraints during the training process, it could recommend implementing stricter data access controls to prevent unauthorized exposure of sensitive customer data, or establish clear human oversight mechanisms where human reviews and approves all critical AI-driven decisions before they go live, especially in high-stakes scenarios like, say, medical diagnoses or loan approvals. This really highlights the proactive nature of risk management that these platforms enable. It moves beyond just identification to actually protecting against both foreseen and unforeseen negative outcomes, building a more resilient and trustworthy AI ecosystem.
That's vital. It's not just ringing a warning bell, it's providing the tools to actually fix the problem, or ideally prevent it in the first place. And speaking of fixing problems and making sure things are done correctly, that leads us directly to policy enforcement. How do these platforms help organizations not just define clear guidelines for AI development and deployment, but then, crucially, monitor compliance with those very guidelines almost automatically?
Yeah, policy enforcement is where the abstract rules and guidelines truly become actionable and ingrained in an organization's day-to-day AI lifecycle. These platforms are engineered to help organizations define clear, precise guidelines for AI development and deployment processes. For example, an organization might have an internal policy that mandates all AI models used for credit decisions must achieve a certain defined level of fairness across different demographic groups. Or maybe that all customer-facing AI applications must have an audit trail documenting every significant decision they make. The platform then automatically monitors compliance with both those internal organization-specific policies and the ever-growing body of external regulations, think GDPR for privacy or upcoming AI-specific legislations like the EU AI Act.
So it keeps an eye on everything.
Pretty much. It can set up automated checks. For instance, an organization could establish a policy mandating regular, comprehensive bias audits for all AI models, both before and after deployment, maybe every quarter. The platform would then actively track whether those audits are actually being performed diligently, on schedule, and according to the established criteria. If an audit is missed, or perhaps if the model's fairness metrics fall below a defined threshold, the platform would immediately flag it. It would alert the responsible team and, importantly, document the noncompliance. This demonstrates how an abstract policy, like "we will be fair and transparent," translates into a concrete, measurable action that the platform ensures is actually carried out. This functionality ensures a remarkable degree of consistency and adherence across all AI initiatives, regardless of which team developed them. And this is absolutely vital not only for maintaining legal and ethical standing, avoiding those costly fines and reputational damage we discussed, but also, critically, for building genuine public trust in the AI systems an organization uses. It shows that they're not just talking about responsibility, but actively enforcing it through systematic, auditable processes.
So it's about making sure that what you say you're going to do, you actually are doing, and doing it consistently across the board. And then once everything is running, once these policies are in place, how do these platforms provide that continuous health check? What about monitoring and reporting, and why is that so much more than just looking at a dashboard full of numbers?
Right. Monitoring and reporting is truly the early warning system for AI. It provides continuous vigilance. It involves the real-time continuous monitoring of AI system performance. It's constantly looking for critical issues that can emerge over time, issues that might not be immediately obvious, such as drift.
Drift, right, where the model gets less accurate.
Exactly. It occurs when a model's performance degrades, because the real-world data it encounters starts to differ significantly from its original training data. For example, an AI trained to detect fraudulent transactions based on patterns from last year might start to struggle if new fraud techniques emerge or if customer behavior shifts dramatically. These platforms aren't just sitting there waiting for things to break. They use sophisticated statistical tests and real-time data comparisons to proactively flag when the incoming data no longer resembles what the model was trained on, or when its predictions start deviating from a baseline of expected fairness or accuracy. They also continuously monitor for emerging biases that might not have been apparent initially, or other operational problems that could impact the AI's effectiveness or fairness over time. The platform then generates comprehensive, easy-to-understand reports that offer deep, actionable insights into the health and performance of these AI systems. And these aren't just static spreadsheets. They typically provide dynamic dashboards, drill-down capabilities, and alerts that enable quick identification and resolution of problems, often before they impact users or lead to major issues. Emphasizing why continuous monitoring is key here. AI environments are inherently dynamic. Data changes constantly. User behavior shifts. The external world evolves. A static one-time check just won't cut it in such a fluid landscape. This constant vigilance allows for timely interventions before small issues escalate into major crises, protecting both the organization and the people it serves from both financial and reputational harm.
That's incredibly powerful, like having a constant proactive checkup for your AI rather than just waiting for symptoms to appear and hoping for the best. And finally, as AI systems grow more and more complex, there's this huge push for understanding how they actually arrive at their decisions. That brings us to explainability and transparency. How do these platforms help with that, especially when we're dealing with what used to be called those black box algorithms?
Yeah, this functionality is becoming not just important, but truly indispensable, especially as AI systems grow more complex and are deployed in more critical high-stakes applications like healthcare or finance. AI governance platforms provide sophisticated tools specifically designed to explain how AI models arrive at their decisions. For a long time, many advanced AI models, particularly deep learning networks, were often referred to as black boxes because it was incredibly difficult, even for their creators, to understand their internal reasoning process. These tools effectively work to open up that black box.
So how do they do that? What does that look like?
Well, they might do this by showing you something like a feature importance score, indicating exactly which pieces of information, maybe a credit score, a past medical history detail, or even specific words in a customer review, weighed most heavily in an AI's decision. Or they might highlight specific examples where the AI's logic seems to have gone awry, allowing human experts to investigate and potentially course correct. Some tools even provide what are called counterfactual explanations, showing what specific changes in the input data would have resulted in a different decision. That offers a path to understanding its boundaries. This level of insight is absolutely crucial for multiple reasons. Firstly, it makes AI results easier to understand and, consequently, easier to trust. That trust is fundamental for both regulatory compliance, as many new regulations now actually demand explanations for AI decisions and for building broader public confidence. I mean, imagine an AI denying you a loan, or flagging a medical condition, or even recommending a specific investment. You, as the user or the affected individual, need to understand why.
Absolutely. You want to know the reasoning?
Exactly. This functionality directly addresses the listener's innate need for understanding and accountability, especially when AI begins to impact significant, potentially life-altering decisions. It transforms AI from this mysterious, opaque force into a more comprehensible, auditable, and ultimately more trustworthy tool.
So it's truly about shining a light into those algorithmic dark corners and making sure we understand what's happening, making AI less of a mystery and more of a predictable, understandable tool. To sum up this section then, these platforms are really the comprehensive toolkits for managing risks, ensuring compliance, and promoting responsible innovation with AI across its entire life cycle. Now that we have a solid understanding of what AI governance platforms actually are and how they function, let's zoom out a bit and talk about why they're so utterly critical. This isn't just about ticking boxes for compliance, right? It's about avoiding very real and severe consequences that are already manifesting in our world. The risks of unchecked AI are not theoretical. They are palpable, affecting individuals and society at large.
Indeed. When we discuss the risks of unchecked AI, we're looking at potentially devastating impacts that can ripple right through society. Let's maybe dive into some of the most impactful examples that really highlight why these guardrails are non-negotiable. One of the most infamous instances that immediately comes to mind is the risk of bias perpetuation. You probably remember the story of Amazon's recruiting tool.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one.
It was huge. This AI system, designed to streamline hiring by evaluating resumes, unfortunately ended up penalizing and effectively discriminating against female candidates. And why did it do that? Because it was trained on historical resume data, predominantly from men, reflecting the existing gender imbalances within the tech industry at that time. As a result, the AI basically learned to associate certain indicators, like attendance at women's colleges or even the word women's in a club name, with lower suitability, effectively automating and amplifying an existing human bias. This is such a stark demonstration of how AI can not only reflect but also amplify existing societal biases if the training data isn't carefully curated and the model isn't rigorously governed and audited for fairness. It highlights a critical technical and data challenge. The AI isn't malicious, but it can learn flawed patterns leading to systemic and unfair outcomes for real people.
That example is so powerful because it shows how quickly an AI meant for efficiency can go so wrong and cause real harm. It really underscores that phrase, garbage in, garbage out, but with profound human consequences. But it's not just about unintentional bias, right? There's also the very real potential for AI to be used for outright malicious purposes and inflict broader societal harm.
Absolutely. And this is a truly concerning frontier, honestly. We're seeing the burgeoning potential for AI to be misused in ways that could deeply destabilize societies, erode trust in public information, and even threaten democratic processes. I mean, think about the proliferation of highly sophisticated deepfakes.
Right, those incredibly realistic fake videos.
Exactly. They're incredibly realistic but entirely fabricated images, audio, or video that could be used to impersonate public figures, spread misinformation at an unprecedented scale, or even just damage reputations maliciously. Beyond that, consider the strategic deployment of AI-generated content to manipulate public opinion through hyper-personalized propaganda, or disrupt democratic elections by spreading convincing falsehoods, or even incite real-world violence by generating inflammatory narratives. These are not hypothetical future threats. The underlying technology to do this already exists and is becoming, frankly, terrifyingly more accessible. Without robust governance, without systems to track and identify the provenance of AI-generated content or to enforce responsible use policies, the potential for AI to be weaponized against individuals, institutions, or even entire societies poses an existential threat to trust and stability. Furthermore, while the sources don't give a specific, named example, we must consistently emphasize the general pervasive risk of AI systems inadvertently violating privacy regulations. AI often processes and infers insights from vast amounts of personal data. Without strict controls, meticulous data handling, and transparent oversight, there's a constant danger of exposing sensitive information, making unexpected inferences about individuals that were never intended, or using data in ways that go against user consent or legal mandates. That leads to massive data breaches and trust deficits.
So, what does this all mean for us then, as individuals, and for society as a whole? It sounds like these aren't just theoretical possibilities that might happen someday. These risks are already manifesting and have very real immediate consequences.
Exactly. The implications are profound and immediate. For individuals, it can mean facing unfair treatment in critical areas like employment or credit, suffering a profound loss of privacy, or being exposed to highly manipulative or misleading content online. For society, it can rapidly erode trust in the very information we consume, destabilize institutions we rely on, and exacerbate existing societal inequalities by automating biases. It truly underscores that simply developing powerful AI isn't enough, no matter how innovative it is. We must also develop the robust frameworks to manage it responsibly, ensuring its power is harnessed for good, not ill.
But it's not all doom and gloom, surely. It's not just about avoiding negatives. Good AI governance also unlocks significant benefits for organizations. What's on the positive side of the ledger? What's the upside of getting this right?
Absolutely. While avoiding risks is paramount, good AI governance also unlocks significant strategic and competitive benefits for organizations. It makes them leaders in the responsible AI space. First and foremost is the crucial act of building trust. By developing and deploying AI responsibly with transparency and fairness baked into every step of the process, organizations build deep, lasting trust. Trust with their customers, their employees, their investors, and all their various stakeholders. Why is this so crucial? Because trust is the essential foundation for widespread, long-term AI adoption. If people don't trust AI systems to be fair, secure, and reliable, they simply won't use them, or regulatory pushback will stifle innovation, slowing down progress for everyone. This trust isn't just some warm, fuzzy feeling. It translates directly into competitive advantage. It fosters greater customer loyalty, attracts top talent who want to work on ethical AI, and cultivates a positive, resilient brand perception in an increasingly scrutinizing market.
So trust becomes a real asset.
A huge asset. And then there's the undeniable, very practical benefit of regulatory compliance. Governments globally are rapidly introducing and increasingly stringently enforcing new AI regulations. These laws cover a wide spectrum, including stringent data privacy requirements like Europe's GDPR or California's CCPA, demanding security standards for AI systems, and strict fairness requirements for AI algorithms used in critical decision-making, like hiring or lending. Navigating this incredibly complex, often fragmented, and rapidly evolving legal landscape can be an overwhelming challenge for organizations, especially those operating internationally. But an AI governance platform is specifically designed to help them do just that. By providing automated monitoring, enforcing internal and external policies, and generating comprehensive audit trails and reports, these platforms help organizations stay ahead of the curve, proactively ensuring adherence to these new mandates. This helps them avoid potentially crippling and incredibly costly fines, which can run into the tens or even hundreds of millions, as well as significant penalties for noncompliance and the immeasurable damage to reputation. The accelerating pace of global AI legislation, with new laws emerging seemingly every month, makes this capability not just helpful but absolutely essential for any organization operating internationally or handling sensitive data. It's about turning a compliance burden into a strategic advantage.
It's clear then. AI governance is not merely a nice-to-have add-on or simply another compliance checkbox to tick. It's a fundamental necessity for mitigating those significant risks we just discussed, for building that crucial trust with everyone impacted by AI, and ultimately for unlocking AI's full transformative potential without falling victim to its downsides. It's about ensuring AI serves humanity effectively, responsibly, and predictably. Okay, so we've established what AI governance platforms are and why they're so critical. Now, here's where it truly gets interesting for anyone watching this space who's actually building these digital guardrails. The market for AI governance platforms is relatively young, yet it's already bustling with a diverse array of established tech giants, agile, innovative startups, and robust open source initiatives. It's a dynamic, competitive, and rapidly evolving space.
Indeed, and we can broadly categorize the current market players based on their distinct approaches, their philosophies, and the types of offerings they bring to the table. Understanding these categories can help you, as a listener, grasp the landscape and what kind of solutions might best fit different organizational needs, or even where the innovation is currently happening. First, we have the established tech giants. Think of the household names like IBM, Microsoft, Google. These companies typically offer AI governance solutions not as standalone isolated products, but rather as integral, deeply embedded components within their much broader, expansive AI and cloud computing platforms. They provide comprehensive suites of tools that essentially cover the entire AI lifecycle, from the very initial stages of data preparation and model training, all the way through to deployment, continuous monitoring, and even the eventual retirement of models. Their key advantage lies in their unparalleled deep integration with their existing cloud infrastructure, whether that's Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, or IBM Cloud. If an organization is already heavily invested in one of these cloud ecosystems, adopting their governance tools offers pretty seamless integration, leverages their pre-existing, robust, established tech infrastructure, and often comes with a familiar user interface. This makes them ideal for large enterprises that are already deeply embedded within these particular tech stacks and require a holistic, all-encompassing solution that can scale globally and integrate with their existing enterprise systems. They offer a familiar environment, a trusted brand name, and comprehensive support for complex enterprise-level deployments.
So if you're already deeply committed to a particular cloud provider, sticking with their governance tools makes a lot of intuitive sense for ease of integration and operational efficiency. But then we have a different kind of player, right? These specialized AI governance platforms. Who are they, and what's their unique selling proposition that sets them apart from the giants?
That's right. This category includes innovative companies like Fiddler AI, Arthur AI, and Arise AI, among others. Unlike the tech giants who offer broad suites across many domains, these companies are laser-focused. They dedicate their entire business model and research efforts solely to AI governance. This intense specialization allows them to often offer more advanced, cutting-edge features in very specific, nuanced areas. For example, they might provide highly granular bias detection capabilities that can identify subtle forms of algorithmic unfairness, or extremely sophisticated explainability tools that delve deep into model decisions, sometimes even suggesting actionable ways to improve transparency. Their model monitoring capabilities can be exceptionally precise, designed to catch even the most subtle shifts in model performance or data distribution that might indicate drift or emerging issues. Their strength really lies in their agility, their deep subject matter expertise, and their capacity for rapid innovation. Because their entire business is dedicated to this niche, they can often provide more tailored solutions for specific, highly complex use cases, potentially pushing the boundaries of what's possible in AI transparency, accountability, and risk management. They are often the pioneers, exploring the bleeding edge of governance technology.
So they're the ones bringing the niche, deep dive solutions, if you will, focusing on pushing the envelope within the governance space itself. And then there's a third category that's quite different, offering a lot of flexibility and power for those with the right expertise. Open source tools and frameworks, what do these offer and who are they best suited for?
These are a fantastic and increasingly vital resource, especially for the developer community and for organizations seeking maximum flexibility and control over their AI governance. Examples include projects like FairLearn and AI Fairness 360, which are often developed and maintained by a collaborative community. These are essentially free, openly accessible tools and frameworks that developers can directly leverage, modify, and integrate into their existing AI development pipelines to build fairer, more robust, and more responsible AI systems right from the ground up. The key analysis here is that while they demand significantly more technical expertise to implement, configure, and maintain, because you're essentially building and managing your own bespoke solution with their components, they offer an unparalleled degree of flexibility, customization, and ultimate control. This makes them incredibly attractive for smaller organizations with highly skilled technical teams, for academic research institutions exploring novel governance techniques, or for highly customized projects where off-the-shelf commercial solutions just won't fit the unique, precise requirements. They empower organizations to truly own, adapt, and continually evolve their governance framework in lockstep with their specific needs and the rapidly changing AI landscape. The trade-off, of course, is often a lack of dedicated commercial support, relying instead on community forums and internal expertise.
It sounds like the choice depends entirely on an organization's specific needs, its existing infrastructure, its in-house technical capabilities, and of course, its available budget and resources. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation where one solution fits every single problem.
This raises an important question for any organization listening. How does one decide where to begin, given these diverse options? Briefly, a large enterprise with an existing deep cloud commitment might find the comprehensive integration of the established tech giants most appealing. Organizations with highly specialized or extremely complex AI governance needs, perhaps operating in highly regulated or high-risk areas, might find the cutting-edge features and focused expertise of specialized platforms more appealing, even if it means integrating with a new vendor. And for those with limited commercial budgets but strong internal technical capabilities, or perhaps a desire for ultimate control and customization, open source tools offer a powerful and adaptable starting point. The crucial point, though, regardless of the choice, is to get started. AI governance is not something organizations can afford to ignore or delay. The risks are simply too great. The regulatory landscape is evolving too rapidly, and the opportunity to build trust and unlock AI's full potential is too significant. Beginning the journey, even with a smaller, more focused implementation, is far, far better than waiting for a crisis to force your hand.
Absolutely. The time to act is definitely now. But how are these platforms actually being used beyond the theoretical discussions? Let's transition to some concrete, vivid examples, truly bringing the abstract concepts of AI governance to life. How are these platforms being deployed in practice across different industries right now to tackle real-world challenges?
Yeah, these platforms are already making a tangible, crucial difference across various critical sectors. Let's look at some detailed industry-specific applications to see AI governance in action, highlighting the specific problems they solve. First, maybe consider the financial services industry. Banks, for instance, are incredibly reliant on AI for a multitude of critical tasks. Things like detecting intricate patterns of fraud that human analysts might miss, assessing credit risk for loan applications in an instant, and even personalizing customer service interactions to improve client satisfaction and retention. However, these AI systems, particularly those involved in high-stakes decision-making like credit assessment, can be highly prone to subtle biases. This means they could inadvertently or even systematically discriminate against certain demographic groups, perhaps based on zip code, or a specific set of financial transaction patterns that correlate with a protected characteristic when making crucial lending or service decisions. This can lead to unfair access to financial products. The governance challenge here is immense. How do you ensure fairness and equity in automated decisions that profoundly impact people's financial lives while still leveraging the efficiency of AI?
That's a huge balancing act.
It really is.
Yeah.
So the AI governance solution is that these platforms become an indispensable part of the bank's operational fabric. Let's imagine Finco Bank trying to approve loans for small businesses. Without effective governance, their AI might inadvertently penalize startups from certain historically underserved zip codes. Not due to creditworthiness, maybe, but due to historical lending patterns that the AI learned from. This could potentially lead to class action lawsuits, massive regulatory fines, and a severe PR nightmare. With a governance platform in place, Finco Bank would actively audit the training data for geographic, racial, or gender bias before the model is ever deployed. Then, once deployed, the platform continuously monitors the loan approval rates by various demographic segments, setting up real-time alerts for any statistically significant disparity. The platform might even flag if a good loan applicant was rejected simply because the AI's confidence score dipped below a specific threshold for some inexplicable reason, prompting immediate human review and intervention. This level of proactive and continuous oversight ensures fairness and equity, preventing issues before they become crises and ensuring unwavering compliance with stringent regulations like the Fair Lending Act. Those are designed specifically to prevent discrimination in financial services. It's vital for both ethical operations and legal adherence, protecting both the bank and its customers.
That's a powerful example of how bias, even unintentional, can creep in and how governance can fight it directly, protecting both the institution and the individual. What about the healthcare industry? Here, the stakes are incredibly high, dealing with patient health, privacy, and literally life or death decisions.
Oh, absolutely. The healthcare industry offers another incredibly compelling and high-stakes use case. Hospitals and healthcare providers are rapidly leveraging AI to diagnose diseases with remarkable accuracy, sometimes even surpassing human capabilities in detecting early signs of cancer or neurological conditions. They also use AI to predict patient outcomes, to allocate resources more effectively, and to personalize treatment plans down to an individual's genetic makeup. While AI promises truly revolutionary improvements in patient care, it simultaneously raises profound concerns. We're talking about the absolute sanctity of patient privacy, given the extremely sensitive nature of medical data and the paramount importance of diagnostic accuracy. A misdiagnosis by an AI, even a rare one, could have devastating life or death consequences. The governance challenge is balancing groundbreaking innovation with absolute patient safety and stringent ethical standards.
A challenge with zero room for error, really.
Exactly. So the AI governance solution is that these platforms become the bedrock of responsible AI adoption in healthcare. Imagine Medicare Hospital using an AI system to help diagnose rare conditions. The governance platform would first ensure that the AI models are rigorously tested, validated, and proven to be accurate and reliable on diverse patient populations before they are ever deployed in a clinical setting. It establishes clear, auditable protocols for how sensitive patient data is handled and accessed by the AI, ensuring compliance with regulations like HIPAA, preventing data breaches or misuse. Crucially, it facilitates comprehensive human oversight of AI-driven decisions. If the AI suggests a diagnosis, the platform provides the clinician with an explainability report showing why the AI arrived at that conclusion, which symptoms weighed most heavily, what similar cases it drew upon. This empowers doctors and clinicians to understand and confidently sign off on AI recommendations, ensuring that human expertise and responsibility remain the ultimate authority in patient care. It's about making AI an intelligent assistant, not an unchecked decision maker, giving patients and practitioners peace of mind.
That human oversight component